Guys, VideoJames, and we're going to be looking at how to use Ninetales today. Ninetales is one of those Pokemon that not only got a boost in Sun and Moon, but also got an entirely new set of moves. Because when they made an Alolan Ninetales, they gave it the Ice Fairy typing, which admittedly wasn't something you'd expect to see, just because the 4 times weakness to Steel would make it completely wrecked. But for a new type, it actually works really well, and it got 2 of the best abilities, Snow Cloak and Snow Warning. So, when we look at the weaknesses for Ninetales and Alolan Ninetales, basically, a regular Ninetales we're not going to see for a while, but it's got the standard single fire weakness. It's got the water, ground, and rock, and again, until we get the new stuff up, we're not going to see many ground and rocks that mostly people will probably just end up using Mudsdales or Golems. But then when we look at Alolan Ninetales' damage, we see it gets hit super effective by fire, poison, rock, and steel. And steel gives it the 4 times hit. So, we already know right away we're going to want to get away from steel types. That if you have someone who's using a steel type on their field, you don't want to send in an Alolan Ninetales. But if they have, say, a water type, or not water type, a bug type or a dark type, because most people will probably end up sending out stuff like Golissopods or Weaviles to try and outspeed some of the new stuff, then you can just switch into Ninetales and just take the damage, because you're only going to be taking 0.5 from them. And the new feature they introduced in Sun and Moon was the Ice Stone, which I absolutely loved, because it gave way to a new sort of evolution, that now instead of having to use a Fire Stone to evolve a Ninetales, you could use the Ice Stone to get the Alolan Ninetales, which I think looks a lot better than the original Ninetales, just because I never really did like the color of the original Ninetales. That I always liked the shiny version better, just because the yellow on the original Ninetales I didn't really like. It was just not that appealing to me. But anyway, when we look at its movesets, Ninetales doesn't really get a lot of stuff. That it only gets a few moves like Dazzling Gleam, Ice Beam, Ice Shard, and Confuse Ray when it evolves into the Alolan form. And that those are basically just all remembering moves, that you'd have to go to the Elite Four with a bunch of heart scales and just get all those back. And then when we look at the standard level up, pretty much nothing different. That we've got almost all the same moves. Imprison, Flamethrower, and Confuse Ray, basically going to be stuff that you're going to see very often, along with Nasty Plot and Safeguard. And then when we look at the TMs, you can see that not every Pokemon gets the same kind of TMs, that there are differences between regional variants as well as just different Pokemon species in general. But when we look at the combined set of moves that they can get, we've got Psyshock, we've got Calm Mind, Toxic that every Pokemon can get, we've got Protect, we've got, let me find something useful, we've got Payback, which admittedly not going to be used much on a Ninetales, considering it's a special sweeper. We've got Dark Pulse, and we've got Substitute. So, when you look at them together, they've actually got a pretty decent move pool. And then we see stuff like Overheat, Energy Ball, Will-O-Wisp, Blizzard, and Dazzling Gleam. And then we think, okay, I can use this. There's something I can use here. And then when we look at its egg moves, we've got stuff like Hypnosis and Heat Wave and Extrasensory, and that's just going to make us even more overpowered because of the Ninetales abilities. That you're going to end up getting more power on those moves, and you're just going to end up completely wrecking if you get enough setup. And then pre-evolution moves, not a lot we're going to see that we're going to need. We do have Will-O-Wisp, which was usually very good for the regular Ninetales. Again, we've got Extrasensory. We do have Fire Blast, for those of you who enjoy Fire Blast. I don't really like it just because of the low accuracy. Like, to me, Heat Wave has too low in accuracy. So the fact that Fire Blast has more than Heat Wave, or less than Heat Wave, is kind of just not good for me. And then, we also notice that Alolan Ninetales gets Aurora Veil. That it reduces damage from physical and special moves for 5 turns on all allies. And it can only be used in Hailstorm. Well, okay, Alolan Ninetales gets Snow Warning, so I'll just set up that Hail on my first turn, and then go for the Aurora Veil to try and reduce any damage I take. And then, when we look at the stats, they basically stayed pretty much the same, except that in the Alolan form, they did cut down the attack to put more in the speed. But other than that, it's pretty much the same, that we've got 73 on our HP, 75 on the defense, 81 on the special attack, 100 on the special defense, 100 on the speed for a regular Ninetales, and 109 for an Alolan Ninetales, meaning we're going to be outspeeding some Pokemon with 100 base speed. And then when we go into Showdown, we see that the first set for a Ninetales is basically just a Choice Scarf Outspeed set that, since you have the 109 base speed, you're going to want to take advantage of it. That you just try and use the Choice Scarf, go for a Moonblast, Blizzard, or Psyshock. And that with Snow Warning, you're going to be getting all accuracy on the Blizzard. That it'll wipe out the chance to hit. And it says, Blizzard literally says in its description, 10% chance to freeze the foe. But Hail gives it the ability to actually hit more often. Because Blizzard on its own has a 70% accuracy, but then Hail boosts that up to 100. And then we've got Psyshock just because it's one of the better psychic moves that dealing damage using a special attack and defense instead of special attack and special defense kind of just runs for more damage. And then when we look at the EVs and IVs, not a lot to explain there, just max out the special attack, max out the speed. And you could go for a Timid, which is what I should suggest. Yeah, which is what I would suggest, because then you'll be hitting 348 speed, and that plus a Choice Scarf, you're going to be outspeeding a lot of Pokemon. And that with the 261, since most of your moves are same type, you'll still be getting the stab bonus, and you'll be getting up to a good amount of damage in the damage zone. And then when we look at a regular Ninetales, a little bit different, just because not really much of a speeder. That with the 100 base speed, it's still good, but you kind of want to split up the speed and the HP, and you give it a Life Orb, because with Drought, it gets access to moves with high amounts of power, like Heat Wave and Solar Beam, and that just boosts the power even more. That with a Ninetales having Solar Beam, you instantly get to counter your weaknesses with a base, I think, Solar Beam's 100 power move. And then with Heat Wave getting the boost from Drought, because it's a Fire-type move, you're basically getting Stab plus Drought plus Life Orb bonus, and that's basically bringing your special attack up to the 300 range without you having to even set up. And then we've just got Dark Pulse just because Dark Pulse gets a 20% chance to flinch, got an 80 base power, so it's not that bad, and that we can just hope for a flinch and use it as a last resort move. And then, like I said, you want to split up the attack, HP and speed, so give it 120 in the HP, 128 in the attack. Why do I keep saying attack? 128 in the speed, and then just max out the special attack. That, since you're not setting up, you're going to want to have something that'll let you hit hard. And then just throw on the Timid Nature again, that you're going to want to get that speed up. And then, we're moving on to a setup set. And this one's basically because, since Alolan Ninetales gets access to Calm Mind, that we can set up our special attack and special defense at the same time, and we'll be taking a lot of hits, since Ice and Fairy only has 2 or 3 weaknesses. That right now we're not seeing a lot of fire types, we're seeing a few poison, but not a lot, and some of the ones that we are seeing, like a Salazzle, can get taken down very easily. So then when we look at the other stuff, we've basically just got Calm Mind, set up the special defense and a special attack, and we're just getting set for days. That already having 218 and 236, boosting that by half, you're hitting the 300s range, and you're not going to get hit by a lot. And then since you're getting the Snow Warning, you can just set up a substitute, and just hope to take a couple hits. And then you can throw out a Toxic on it, give your opponent a poison bonus while they're trying to wear you down, and then just, once you have the setup done, wall out with the Blizzard. That, again, with Snow Warning, Blizzard's accuracy goes up, so you'll have more of a chance to hit them with an overpowered 110 base power move. And then for this Ninetales, you just give it a Leftovers. That, with Leftovers, you can just take back a little bit of your health if they do manage to land damage on you, and just wait for them to wait for you to try and kill yourself. But then when we look at a regular Ninetales, we see it's different. That with this Ninetales, the setup is a bit different depending on its move pool. That we've got the Focus Sash and the Drought. And then we've got Will-O-Wisp, Hex, Confuse Ray, and Flamethrower. That, since Alolan Ninetales get access to Will-O-Wisp, we can use that and at the same time cut down their attack and lower their HP at the same time. And then we've got Hex, because Hex is a 60 base power Ghost-type move, but it also has its power doubled if the target has a status ailment. So, say, you get out the Will-O-Wisp, and then you get out the Hex, and then you're getting double power. And then we have Confuse Ray, just give them the chance to hit themselves, be like, hey, wait, is he over there? No, he's right here. Ow! And then I just put on Flamethrower because one of the best fire-type moves. You can put on Heat Wave if you want, or if you're really risky, Fire Blast, but I don't like doing that just because it involves too little of accuracy. That with people having stuff with Double Team and Substitute, that you're going to want to be hitting as much as possible. That with them setting up, with them using stuff like Extreme Evo Boost and Toxapex, you're going to want to hit them as much as possible. And then, when you look at that Ninetales sets, the original Ninetales, you just max out the special attack and the speed, and again, give it the timid nature, and you can just throw the extra 4 into HP. And then that, with the Alolan Ninetales setup, you basically just do the same thing. That you want to just max out the Oh no, that's messed up. Hold on, go back. That you want to just max out the HP. Let me fix this. There we go. You just max out the HP, max out the defense just so you can withstand a few hits, and then just put the 4 into special attack so that you're getting your recovery fast. No! Stop doing that! Anyway, you know what it was. Max out the HP, max out the defense on this one, and you're basically set. That the 4 EVs you don't even really need to concern yourself with, because it's not really going to matter. And then when we look at the final set, it's for Alolan Ninetales, just because Alolan Ninetales gets access to the Aurora Veil. Like I said, Aurora Veil, one of the best moves that was introduced in the new series. That with Snow Warning, you can set it up first turn and just get the damage reduction. That they try to hit you with the super effective move, you still take almost nothing. And then just give it a Life Orb, because then the rest of its moves are basically all just hitting. That we've got Blizzard, we've got Dazzling Gleam, and we've got Agility. So max out the special attack and speed, give it a modest nature, and we're basically set. That with us raising our speed by 2, we get it up to somewhere in the 600 range, and we actually end up doing very well. That we're gonna outspeed a lot of Pokemon, possibly some Aerodactyls. And then, with Blizzard having the accuracy bonus and Snow Warning again, you're basically just gonna be walling out for damage. That, with Ninetales, it's basically, okay, I'm gonna set up a weather condition, so that I'll be able to do more damage to you, more often, and you won't be able to respond as quickly. That's basically the way Ninetales operates, is that it sets up a weather condition with its hidden ability, so that it can take a hit and dish something out. But anyway, that's how to use Ninetales and Alolan Ninetales. This Pokemon didn't really have a lot to work with originally, that there were only really 2 kinds of sets that you could run for it. But now that we've got the Alolan form, there's so many possibilities for this Pokemon. So if any of you guys know any other ways to run an Alolan Ninetales or regular Ninetales, let me know down in the comments. And if you like this video, go ahead and slap the like button as always, and I'll see you guys later.